Selama ini ada anggapan bahwa perusahaan ketika dia memberikan klausul just transisi dalam perjanjian kerja bersama, maka itu akan merugikan perusahaan. Bagi kami dari serikat pekerja, tentu itu adalah pandangan yang keliru. Dengan adanya komitmen bersama begitu, berarti serikat pekerja dan pengusaha itu bersama-sama untuk memastikan bahwa transisi energi tidak hanya merugikan pekerja, tapi juga tidak berdampak buruk bagi dunia usaha.
So the role of collective bargaining for workplace measures is extremely important because
the contents of collective agreements in many jurisdictions are mandatory.
So it's binding clauses. It's not just any kind of agreement. They become like law. And what is important is that, of course, the workers and employers know the company best if you have a company-based agreement. And because they both negotiated the agreement, it will have some benefits for both sides. So there's a high degree of ownership, and therefore implementation is likely to be much higher than if you have any other type of agreement. So we did a quantitative study actually looking at collective agreements we have in the ILO database. We found that most of the agreements actually had more of a declaratory nature on just transition. So for example, they would say the bargaining partners agree to move towards more sustainable development. But of course, a clause like this cannot be implemented. It's a declaration on what should happen.
Di Indonesia, serikat pekerja yang bisa merundingkan PKB itu adalah serikat pekerja yang kuat. Kuat dalam artian dia harus punya anggota minimal 50% plus 1 dari jumlah karyawan yang ada di perusahaan itu. Dalam perjanjian kerja bersama yang kami sepakati, setidaknya ada 4 hal yang masuk dalam klausul just transisi dalam pasal PKB. Yang pertama adalah terkait dengan komitmen kedua belah pihak untuk sama-sama menghadapi transisi energi ini. Artinya kami percaya bahwa transisi energi bukan hanya kepentingannya pekerja, tapi juga kepentingan dunia usaha. Yang kedua adalah terkait dengan pembentukan komite just transisi. Jadi di perusahaan kami membentuk yang namanya komite just transisi yang akan mendiskusikan dari awal sampai akhir bagaimana transisi energi itu akan dilakukan. Dan kemudian yang ketiga, ada peningkatan keterampilan yang dijanjikan oleh perusahaan untuk menghadapi manakala nanti ada penutupan perusahaan di tambang. Dan yang keempat adalah adanya mitigasi PHK. Jadi perusahaan akan memberitahu jauh-jauh hari ketika PHK itu akan dilakukan dalam konteks transisi energi. Dan tentu saja kami akan juga mendorong kepada perusahaan untuk memberikan pesangon yang lebih besar dan kemudian memberikan jaminan sosial yang lebih panjang dari yang ada sekarang, karena PHK yang kami terima bukan PHK karena kesalahan kami, tapi PHK untuk menyelamatkan bumi, PHK untuk menyelamatkan dunia.
We found that the more mature, the more developed the industrial relation systems are, the more concrete the clauses are on just transition. Whereas in, let's say, countries with less mature industrial relation, there tend to be more agreements of declaratory nature, which are still important though, because the social partners can always come back and renegotiate, make them more mandatory, make them more concrete. Just to give you 2 examples, in Germany, there was a political decision to leave the lignite industry, lignite energy, and in fact the social partners, the employer and the unions negotiated an agreement with very concrete targets on how much compensatory pay the workers would get, and also to transition them to other companies. Another example is in Korea from the car industry. Korea, of course, is a very different context, only 16% coverage rate. And the collective agreement that was adopted there was in 21, and it included a task force to ensure future competitiveness of the company, but also job security for retiring employees. And it also foresaw a major job conversion program to prepare industry transformation.
APHEDA is what we call a trade union solidarity support organisation, and our role is to help unions achieve what they want to achieve in the workplace. And for them, it is important that they are able to have the capacity and knowledge and the advocacy skills and the financial capacity to do those things. We see climate change and just transition as a workers' rights issue, as do the unions. So it's a natural thing to include a clause or clauses into collective bargaining agreements, which work on protecting wages and protecting conditions. We say workers' rights means that they need to be consulted in any of those processes. Their occupational health and safety needs to be protected. That might mean something like heat stress because of climate change. So these are the clauses we're looking to include in collective bargaining agreements. And the last thing I'd say is a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement, offers sustainability for those rights. It's a 2 or 3 year agreement, and once the clause is in there, it's very hard to get it out. So we're very happy to have that approach.